Welcome to all the mini enthusiasts, classic cars. I haven't got a call yet from Max, but hopefully in the next day or two he'll give me a call and we'll be able to put this loom in and get the car started. I've got an oil gauge on the way from the UK. Well, I've got the oil gauge, but I didn't have the braided line, so I'm going to change the centre clock in the veneer dash that I've got. I'm going to turn it into an oil gauge. I've taken the clock out, put the oil gauge in, but I need the adapter. There's a T-piece adapter that goes with it, so it's on its way. So hopefully by the time Max gets back to me, we can put that in and we can actually see the oil pressure going up. But I've got a special one that's, I say a special one, it's actually double the normal price because they can go down as low as £7, and by then it's a bit too late to look at it. So I've got one with a special warning on it, and so it's for a higher range. I think it's from 20 to 60 or 80 or whatever it is. Anyway, I'll let you see it when I get it. I just wanted to go over something here tonight. I'm doing the wheel arches and I'm doing the rubbers on the wheel arches. As much as we try to get these arches to fit the body perfectly, it's extremely difficult to do it. And if you actually put a light up against underneath of the arch, you can see light through it. And I'll pick the camera up later after I've shown you this arch that I'm doing now. I've done the one on the tank side, on the fuel tank side, because obviously once that's in, you can't get to it. Once the wiring's gone in and the tank's in, you can get to it, but it's a lot of work. What we're also done is we've not only just put nuts onto the threads here, but we've put nylocks on them as well, so if there's any vibration they won't come off, because then it's a lot of work to get to them if they start to come loose. So I initially got this stuff here, which is this stuff that has this red kind of backing strip on it, and what I've noticed about it, depends how long it's been in stock, when you go to take the red backing strip off, the other one comes off with it. You can see there, and it's supposed to leave that strip in place. Now if it's coming off that easy, then it's not very good. The other thing I found about it when we try to put it on is it bunches up terribly. And you can see here, hopefully you can see here, that I've got a piece of it on and it looks okay, but once you put it against the body it bulges up and down. Whereas this other stuff with the long edging on it, this stuff here, clips over, and it clips over really nice. You can see there's a nice big clip in it, and it gives you lots of room to work with, especially if you haven't got the. So I definitely wouldn't go with this. This is, we've tried it and it's terrible. I've got a whole pack there, and I'm not impressed with it at all. But what you need to do with the arches is, when you're putting them on, as you go around, where the squares are, all you need to do is just take a little nip out of them, and I know exactly now where to do it because I've done it on the other one already, and I just take a little section out. So basically take that piece out, and I'll try and do it in front of the camera. I don't know if that's going to show. I'll try anyway. And then all you need to do then, maybe I'm at a camera shot now, but all you need to do then is basically push it onto the edge, and it goes on real nice. And the one that's already fitted I'll show you in a second. Okay, so you can see there, it's only on so far, but you can see there what I've done is I've cut each piece out, otherwise you won't get it on. I mean, you could actually stick this stuff, which would be better, I think. I think if you bonded that, would it be even better? I'm thinking about it now, because it would stop any water getting up the back, so I think maybe a bonding agent behind it, but it might be a bugger to get off. I'm not sure about that one yet, but that's the easiest way to fit them. So I'll pick the camera up. Sorry about the hole in my jump. This is from welding. I'll pick the camera up and I'll show you the other wing, the other arch. Just two quick things. A quick hello to Josh Smith, who put a video up the other day and caught some either welding or grinding dust or flakes in his eye. You know, and this is a warning for all of us guys, you know, we're all using grinders without covers on them and that, and I'm not here to be anybody's safety officer, but this same thing kind of happened to, well, the same kind of thing happened to Amir, and for 4 days his eye was just bloodshot, and it didn't come from the grinder. Well, it did, it came from the cuttings that are super fine, and he had some sweat and he went like this with his eye, with his hand or his arm, and all the crap was on the sleeve and he pushed it into his eye. So, you know, be careful. Anyway, enough said on that point. So I'm just going to show you now. So if you look there, they look really nice, and we did do a lot of work to get them absolutely right. You can see there's a tiny little gap by eye, but it looks pretty good all the way around. But then when you put the light on and then put it up against there, you can see there is a gap. Some of them are touching there, and we spent a lot of time trying to get them right, so it just shows you really do need this rubber. Okay, here on the rear arch, you can see this is where they were lead loaded, and they've actually got a flare on them. You can see all the way around there's a flare on that. And on the other side, I'll take you around, and you can see it's on now on this one, and you can see how nice, hopefully how nice that looks all the way around. It's a much better fit. I hope, well, I think it's a better fit anyway. Maybe that show up a bit better. Yeah, so let me put that on there. Does that help? Yeah, I think you can see it better there. It's a really nice fit all the way around. And yeah, you just need to push it on. So I'll shut that door. Okay, the last thing is oh, excuse me, I've got the camera. The last thing is somebody was asking me about this, which is Evans Coolant, and I have this in my E-Type. It's really, this is Evans, what they call Evans. Hang on, is it going to stay here? This is Evans waterless coolant. Right, it's not cheap, this stuff, but it never needs to be changed, and it has no water in it. Consequently, if there's no water in it, it can't steam and vaporize and so on and so forth, and cause issues with overheating. Now, I've had this in my E-Type for 2.5 years, and it's never gone down. It's not an issue. It does make the temperature go up a few degrees, maybe 2-3 degrees tops, but you can see its boiling point is 180. It's massive. The great thing about it is it's got an anti-corrosive for aluminium in it, or for any metals, and it stops the corrosion that antifreeze does, that creates. The other thing about it, as well as the hoses, there's something like 90% pressure drop in the hoses. So you can, you know, on a car like this Mini, if you were trying to push that top hose like that, you wouldn't be able to do it because it'd be under pressure. Whereas with the Evans coolant in it, at high temperature, you can even take the radiator cap off. Now that's unheard of. It would boil over, or it would come out like a fountain. You can actually take it at the highest temperature and still take the cap off. That shows you how less the pressure is. Okay, last thing, strangely enough, I talked to you about, he's taken it away now, but I talked to you about this Inertia switch, and it turns out a chap that I know in the E-Type club, he has a beautiful 3.8 E-Type Roadster, and his name's John Shepherd. Now, he used to be, very small world, isn't it? This John used to be the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of the company that invented this switch, this Inertia switch. And what he said to me was, in actual fact, what a lot of people don't know is it actually came from a trigger switch from a rocket launcher, from a missile launch. And basically, all what it is a ball bearing inside that's picked up, and when it's released, it's got, no matter 360 degrees, it will fall into the center and make the contact, and that's how it works. And he was telling me that at one point they started him in the 70s for the Pinto, for the Ford Pinto for a Ford company, and they were selling about 13 million a year of them at one point. And you can imagine it wasn't just used for this; it was used for a lot of different things, machinery that moved and so on. So anyway, there you go, small world. Thanks for that, John. So yeah, hopefully in a couple of days we'll catch you. So take care and see you when Max gets back. Bye. Bye for now.